This is Let's Talk Business with your hosts, Marc Ebinger and Heather Boehme. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, a show that talks entrepreneurship with some of the best businesses in the San Antonio area. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk with Gabriel and Kristina Zachary, realtors with the Zachary Team. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, you guys are no strangers to podcasts. You've done a little bit of this before. I actually saw one of them that you guys did.
Oh, which one?
I don't know. It was just great ambiance in the room. There was cool stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
I thought it looked pretty slick.
Yeah, we did our accent wall together. That's our office. So the other half of the office is just a mess.
Just a mess.
That's the only side that looks good.
That's the fourth wall, as they say. In the entertainment industry, it's the fourth wall that you don't see, right?
But I'm really excited to be on here with Gabriel because
Yeah.
usually I'm the one, like the face or the one who's talking to most of the people. He's the brains behind everything. So it's nice to kind of have him here on the other side.
I do the technical stuff, but this is the first time for us to be guests on a podcast. So thank you.
All right, well, welcome. Hopefully you'll enjoy the experience.
Already are.
Good.
I'm actually happy to be here. I love the whole, it's interesting, like our room versus this one. So it's gaining a lot of, what's the word?
Insight, yeah.
Insight, there you go.
Well,
Okay.
so yeah, Matt, he built this thing out. He did a great job with it. He put a lot of effort and a lot of money into the setup, so he did a great job.
It is.
In studio with us today is Heather Boehme, a certified business coach that works with business owners to gain clarity and achieve their goals. Heather, welcome back. Always good to see you.
Always glad to be here.
I'm back from vacation now.
I know. I was going to say, it's good to be back on this side of the desk.
Yeah, I noticed that you sat here.
Yeah, I
for
did.
that.
I had
Howie
to control the
Did you tell Howie, hey, this is like the host chair. I'm the host.
I'm
You're
the
the co-host.
We called each other co-host because, like, it is your show. But, yeah, it was weird sitting on that side. And then Howie switched and did the intro one time. So we were just, going over our time and enjoying the process.
Okay, good.
Oh.
I love it. Well, the show is better when it's bigger than just me.
Yeah.
Right? Because what if I want to go on vacation or if I'm out for some reason or another,
That
right?
makes sense.
It's plus it's just more of a cool family. I don't know if family feels right.
Well, it's kind of funny because back in, I think, March, you were like, I need a co-host so that I can maybe go on vacation one day and not have to worry about the show. And then it finally happened. It's like
You
only
manifested
6-7 months later and boom, you got your vacation.
When did you start co-hosting? Do you remember?
We were talking about it in January, but then I had a baby.
Oh,
And so not really until the end of March once I had the baby and came back.
I think you should go back. It's crazy what you can speak into existence, honestly. So
I
you
do.
did that.
I do that a lot. I think I'm like, what about this? And then it just happens.
Yeah.
I don't talk about the lotto enough, I think.
Right? We should do that.
There's a lot of competition in that one.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, we haven't even introed you, Marc.
Yeah, sorry.
So let's
I am your host, of course, the hostess with the mostest, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Crükus Marketing Agency, a company that specializes in giving small businesses a competitive edge by hiring low-cost administrative specialists from outside the United States. That's how I built my entire business. I've got 25 or so full-time employees, and we rock it and sock it, and it's really, really cool. Every Monday we do a full team meeting, and it's just really cool. It's such great people that I work with from the Philippines, right? These are all from the Philippines, all up and down the Philippines, which is actually a pretty large country over there. But it's great to get to know folks, the personalities and everything. I just really enjoy coming to work every day. So. But what were you going to say?
Oh, well, I mean, we're talking about talking things into existence and big plans. And I know when we talked last time, you guys have like a big goal. Do you have are you comfortable talking about that?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, do
let's
share. What's your goal?
Well, okay. So, of course, we are about to be in the real estate industry, for 3 years on December 31st. So we, of course, created an LLC for ourselves. So we went to our accountant, and he helped set everything up. So we're like, what should we name our business? And we kind of finally came up. Him and I both had the goal of changing the San Antonio skyline with like some sort of big building. Like we eventually want to maybe become developers. Like that's a big kind of huge goal of ours. So then we named our business Cityscape Views. So just to change the views of the cityscape.
To be a reminder and inspiration for where we want to head up.
So everybody sees us as Gabriel and Kristina, or San Antonio's Realty Couple, or the Zachary Team. But him and I just know in our hearts and in the business is our baby. It's Cityscape Views. So we just kind of have
Is that the
thing
LLC?
Going. Cityscape Views
Have you
LLC.
seen? That's kind of what I did with what I've got going on there. Kind of
the
cityscape.
Yeah, the
cityscape.
skyline.
I actually had to have somebody from Fiverr make that tower. I couldn't find one to rip off of Google Images, right? Not one that was decent, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had a guy made it for me, and he nailed it on the first time. But yeah, I like the cityscape kind
Well,
of
there you
thing
go.
going
See,
on.
15 years from now, y'all have a huge, much more big podcast, and you're gonna have a different building in the back, and
In
that's gonna be our
Cityscape
building.
Views building, right? Like that's the thing. Speaking it into existence, they named their whole business around their goal.
Uh-huh.
How do you make the building stand out? I mean, what's the?
Oh, there's
I
gonna
That's
be a
for
big
us to
Z on-
know.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what were you gonna say?
Trade secrets.
Yeah,
Big
man.
Z?
No,
Yeah,
like
big Z. Like
something
a
I-
Trump
I was just
building,
kidding.
Big T, Trump.
We want to make it unique,
Yeah,
but
it'll be different. Like,
something.
I used to work in Dubai, and
Oh,
the
okay,
city-
that's good inspiration,
the
yeah.
skyline over there is impressive.
yeah, for sure.
The buildings that they make over there, they're the kind of buildings that win awards. So we want to have like San Antonio stand out with one of those buildings, like something.
I bet the sunsets are great there, right?
they are.
Is it a big sun or a small sun? You know what I mean? No, seriously, like California has big sun sunsets.
I see
right?
what you mean.
We have ours is just smaller because it's further away or whatever, right? But it's definitely smaller when it goes over the hills. But California, it's like massive sun. I was just curious, in Dubai, is it kind of a big sun
Yeah,
sunset?
because it's a coastal country as well. Or Dubai is a coastal city, but the whole country is just islands, so it's all coastal.
That must be really kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of colors. Like with the
No, it's
sand and-
we call it like the urban jungle, pretty much. Like it's very concrete. So there's not a lot of if you go out in the dunes, it's just gonna be yellow. So
Well, I spent some time in Saudi when I was over
Yeah.
in the 90s, but yeah, there's just a lot of sand everywhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Playing with camel spiders on the, well, anyway, that's a horrible story. So, why are you guys working together in real estate? That seems like that might be complicated, or is it easy for you guys? Who started it?
You can say
Go
that.
ahead.
You want me to go?
yeah.
Well, we were together for 9 months before COVID hit, before COVID started. So COVID hit, I lost my job. I was a cocktail waitress at the time. Him and I were already going to move in together. Like we knew we were moving into an apartment together. We both had relationships beforehand. So we decided to those were ending. So him and I got together and we moved in together amidst the COVID. So we were got to know each other very well because you couldn't do anything in COVID. So we're just kind of stuck in our apartment. Thankfully, he had a stay-at-home job in marketing. So I was just kind of there, we were just kind of there. So then months and months passed. We have fun for a few months and then we're both kind of like, okay, well, COVID's kind of letting up a little bit. What should we do? And honestly, we tried to start a photography business in the heat of COVID. That was the stupidest thing in the world.
Bad timing.
Bad timing. So we got a couple clients, but it was just not the smartest thing to do, not the right time. And then his aunt calls him out of the blue one day. She lived in California at the time. She's like, hey, what about real estate? And then my husband, when you get a plant of seed in his head, he waters it and it grows. He was just watching YouTube and talking to me about it for weeks. And I'm like, dude, chill, relax, hold on, let me think
Little
about
obsessive,
it.
huh?
He was a very obsessive. That's a good word. So then I was like, listen, give me a week. It was a week before my 30th birthday. I'm like, give me a week to just process all of this information. You've thrown everything you can at me. Let me think about it. Because on our second date, long years ago, he was like, I think we should be in business together. I'm like, dude, I don't even know you. So
Well,
I
let
was
me
not
ask
wrong.
he
So,
manifested.
But
There we
why
go.
did you want to be in business with her? What was it about her that
It
stood out?
We complement each other personality wise. Like she is the fire, and I'm kind of like the steering wheel. Like I don't have the energy that she has, and I'm so mesmerized by her energy and by her drive, and I get ideas, and then I get excited about them, but then I run out of steam. She's my steam. She's like, we're doing this. Move. Let's go. She's a doer. I'm a thinker. So I can sit down and think and think and think and think, and then 2 years later, I still haven't done anything. But she's like, no, she will do 17,000 things in the duration of the 2 years I'm thinking about stuff.
Well,
and
there's
they will
wisdom.
Be completely all over the place.
There's wisdom in that, right?
Yeah.
There is.
And so, and Heather, she's my business coach, right? And so my wife and I meet with her every week. Very, very helpful for the discussion of ideas and making sure that we've got a referee in the room, you know what I mean, when it comes to
Yeah.
making sure that things make sense. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's great because I feel like a lot of people have that ambition to be in business, and they have the ambition to want to go out and build a life that is totally outside of the norm, which the norm being you go to work 9 to 5, you do that for 30 years, then you retire and just kind of sit quietly. But it's like one or the other. Generally, there's not a lot of people that have it all.
Yes.
They're like the overthinker. You want to research, but then there's not a lot of action on the research, and you can't quite seem to get that action and go.
It's that aim, and never pulling the trigger.
Yeah, exactly.
And what we see a lot more in the entrepreneurial world is this, which is action, almost no research, which like you may have research. We haven't gotten to that, but they just go and they get stuff done. But that's usually the client I end up working with is the action taker that doesn't have a research partner, doesn't have that structure.
Yeah.
And I end up coming in and being that structure for them and helping them with that because they don't have that balance of like, I'm driving the car and it's going somewhere. I'm just not 100% where it's going and I don't have my plan.
Google Maps, right?
Google Maps, not a thing. They're just like, I'm going to do it until something sticks.
Yes.
So I think it's great that you recognize that you're the researcher and you found that action and you're like, ooh, I need to lock that down. And you married it.
Yeah, I did. I sure did.
He's like, I can't afford you, but how about we get married? He's like, oh shit, did he really say that?
So obviously we decided I was like, yeah, let's pull the trigger. And then we had to raise some money. So we did like some food delivery to raise up money for us to go to I was about to say driving school, real estate school.
Champions. So.
Went to real estate school and did the test kit together, passed together, and now we're here.
3 years later.
3 years, almost 3 years later, yeah.
Who got the higher score on the test?
Me.
Really?
No, just kidding.
I was like, I'm guessing it's
actually,
him.
I was gonna stay quiet.
No, I actually I failed I passed the national. I didn't pass the state, but the night before, was it the night before?
you had
I had
kidney
I was in the
stones,
hospital for kidney stones.
Oh my gosh.
So the next morning, I forgot to take my medicine. So I was speeding through the national. I was like, oh, I'm good. I start the state test and I just start feeling like the pain and like intense. And I'm like,
It's a little distracting.
Yeah.
So I missed, I think, 2 questions on the state, and that's what made me fail. So
Well,
I
those
had to
things,
redo it,
like,
but then I passed.
people to put any importance on the state
That's
national test is a folly because they have absolutely nothing to do with operating real estate.
It doesn't, yeah.
Even
I
the
know.
contracts part, like it goes over the very surface level of the contracts, but you learn in real estate by doing.
Yeah.
You don't know. You learn how to like put in numbers, but you don't know how to really fill it out, like actually fill out a contract.
And that's one of the main reasons why, like, real estate is a very easy industry to enter, but it's a very hard industry to stay in. A lot of people fall out, like, in the first year.
Why do you think
80%
that
in
is?
the
I thought it was
first 2 years.
85%. I thought it was 85% the first year and then 95% the second year. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah,
And those are the stats from back when I was because I just remember 80% in the first 2 years, and I was like, tell me every reason for this, because if I'm going to go into this, I want to know how I could fail at it and make sure I don't do that.
It's multiple reasons, really. Number one, a lot of people go into real estate from they used to be employees, and then they go into real estate, and they don't realize like you don't have a boss anymore. You're your own boss. So a lot of people don't have that ability and that kind of discipline to boss themselves, and they need to go back to having some sort of somebody to tell them what to do. So that one reason. Another reason is just like Kristina likes to put it, you kill what you eat. So a lot of people,
You eat what you kill.
you eat what you kill. So a lot of people don't like the instability of real estate. Some months you can have multiple closings, and then you can have like 3 or 4
dry
months
spell.
with no closings at all. So you have to also be smart financially to be able to know how much you need to live off, and then kind of like, break it throughout the next month. So you don't have to feel like, okay, now I'm stuck, I have to get a job, and the last reason, a lot of people watch a lot of YouTube videos, and they're like, oh, look, the realtor is driving a Mercedes or a BMW.
The day in the life of.
They're like, they have so much money. It's such an easy job. All you have to do is show some houses and you're rich. It's not. It's a lot of work, just like any other job. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It can be easy at some times, but most of the time it's not. And if you relax too much, you will pay for it the next 2-3 months. You know, you always have to be working the pipeline. The minute that you stop working the pipeline, you might not feel it right away, but you will feel it in the next 2-3 months, you know. So
You guys really have to play that top of mind game. I mean, anybody in marketing,
yeah.
which you guys are in marketing.
Yeah.
You say you're in real estate, but
He's
really,
in-
aren't you
yeah.
in
Yeah.
marketing?
I feel like maybe you're in marketing if he's the back end. I mean, I don't know.
Both of
Do you guys
should be in
divide up
marketing.
the labor like that, or do you both just do the full role? Because with real estate, it's really generating the business and then working the business. I mean, that's any business, right?
Yeah.
Is that clearly divided, or do you guys both do both?
We divide a lot of things, but we don't like set it in parameters like you mentioned. Like she's the face, so she does a lot of the breaking the ice and the introductions and a lot of our marketing. I do a lot of the back end when it comes to the technical marketing stuff.
Yeah, or I'll do like the client facing. I'll do all the contracts, the transactional stuff, kind of getting the client from beginning to end. But we'll work together. Like whenever somebody calls us, they talk to us both because we're together like all the time. So they know that if he's talking, I'm on the sideline, kind of like listening, and vice versa. So.
Because we also try and go off of our clients. Some clients are very analytical. So at that point, I kind of move a little bit. I'm more a numbers person. Not that Kristina's not a numbers person, but the way I talk and the way I present the numbers can sound a little bit more scientific. Whereas, like, I'm not a fun person. Kristina's a lot of fun. She's a lot of energy. So people, like, especially people who are it's their new home buyers.
First-time home buyers,
first-time home
Yeah, they
buyers.
want that
Kristina,
experience.
Yeah.
They want the experience. They want the fun. They want the, we're so stressed. And Kristina's like, don't worry about it. This is going to be fun. We're going to have an awesome
I'll
time.
do the stressing for you. Don't worry about
like,
it.
If I start talking to them, and that's what we've noticed, they stress because I'm like throwing a lot of information at them.
Yeah, you want them to know the worst case scenario and how you're going to mitigate that risk.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, okay, we know that stuff.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't have to worry about that
Stop
stuff.
sucking the fun out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
But at the
exactly.
same time, I think him and I both know each other's side of the business well enough to where if something, God forbid, right, something happened, we can kind of pick up the other's slack, and
Well, I
we know
think
how to do it.
That's the thing in marriage and partnership is,
Oh, absolutely.
yes, you can have your division of labor, but the thing is, until you've built a leverage scale to a certain level, if one person's down, the other one has to step into that
Yeah,
role and vice
exactly.
versa. So you guys are navigating a more difficult market right now. We've had a few people come on and just seeing it, interest rates are higher, prices have kind of, just the monthly payments are crazy increased versus 2 years ago, even a year ago. How are you guys navigating that? We've seen some realtors already starting to kind of get out of the game. Lenders are having a harder time. What are you guys doing in this market?
Well, I'll talk about it from an emotional side, like our relationship side, because you asked, like, hey, how is it complicated? And he'll talk more of the technical
There
side.
you
I'll
go.
just kind of get into that quickly. Us working together, of course, especially when money's running low, you're like, oh, crap, we really need a closing really, really bad. We need to work together even better during that time because we could easily let that stress get to us, and then the stress will start to affect our relationship, which will start to affect our business. And so when the market is down, I'm kind of sometimes the one that's like hopeful, like, hey, it's fine. Like we're supposed to consult our clients. Like it's not a yes or a no. It's not, look, what are we going to do to help them? Because when we help them, we help ourselves. And so it's just kind of like we have to buckle down on our clients, but we also have to buckle down on our relationship through the market because it's not just the business. Our business is our livelihood, which affects us. So we have to work not only on that part, but us as well.
it's like trusting the value of what you're.
And trusting the value of us, but trusting the value of the market and try to continue to say, hey, people are buying and selling all the time. There's so many transactions in a month. We can be at least one of those transactions. We just need to be okay. Just at least sell one house a month. We can do that. We know we can because we sold way more in a month. So it's just kind of relying on ourselves and trusting ourselves with the market. So it's just like this trusting limbo.
Oh, I feel like that's the hardest part of business is the trust.
Yes.
Well, there is proper planning as well. So, like, you do know that. So the market, like, I hate when people say, and I know hate is a big word, but it just really gets under my skin when people say it's a bad market. It's always a bad market, or it's always a good market. It really depends on how you look at it. It's like if it's a bad market, change your perception, change your perspective, and it'll turn into a good market. Okay. Truth of the matter is, when you look at the numbers, even in the bad month, really bad month, there's at least in San Antonio 3,000 transactions that are happening. That's a lot of transactions. That's a lot of money. You know, why can't you be one of those? So it's not really that there's no sales happening. It's just like, are you working enough to be one of those sales?
There's a phrase that it's not the direction of the wind that determines your destination. It's the set of the sail.
Exactly.
So the
Good
same wind blows on all of us, right?
It does.
So what are you doing with that?
Exactly.
Just maneuver your sail, right? So to your point, you know, it's how you buy that house, right? Because you have less competition, but you got higher rates, but maybe you can get creative with how things are done there. Yeah. So it's like there's always opportunity. San Antonio is kind of hot right now, and you know, going up to Austin's hot as far as the demand goes, which I think is good. I don't know what the days on market is. Do you guys know what that is?
Right now, I think the days on market in San Antonio is around
It's right around
90
I thought it was on 80 something, 70.
Yeah,
I have to
between
look.
80 and 90.
I remember when it seemed like when I was over at the radio studio, it was like days. It was single digits.
That was last
I think
year.
it was like 14 for a hot second there. It was wild.
Yeah.
The worst time for the market is during a shift, not when the shift has gone. Like, so last year in the summer of last year, that was a tough time because that's when interest rates went up very quickly and people are reactive. People have very short-term memory. They don't remember when interest rates were in the 16s, for example. So
Or
technically
even in
speaking,
the 9s and stuff.
yeah, technically speaking, interest rates are still low, right? But we don't remember back in when it was 16s. But the thing is, during a span of 2 months, interest rates went up from the 2s and the 3s to the 6s and the 7s, and that was a big shock. So of course it'll have a big impact on the market, and we even struggled in 6 months from like the last year.
Yeah, it was
you
like
know?
5 months. We didn't have a single closing. We just struggled big time.
But that's the time where you have to do the most work in order to educate, to gain trust, not to have that what we call in the industry commission breath. You know, you're there to help people because in the end of the day, if they want to buy, there are ways. Just like you said, like just be creative, learn more about the industry, learn more about the solutions. Go out and talk to lenders. Be like, hey, what can you help my client with? You know, you need to provide me tools so I can get you that sale.
Or I don't want a lender that's just going to say no. Like, you need to give my clients solutions so that we can help them.
So
I
how are
like
you?
that.
How are you guys finding your clients? I mean, it's a top of mind game that you guys. That's why I say you're not in real estate. You're in marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to argue that all day. She's a former real estate, or she's actually took
Never
out a
thought
license.
about it like
No,
that.
you're so funny because like I did not do marketing. I was a cold calling machine in real estate.
Well,
That's how
that's-
I did
I
mine. Which
consider
I
that
wish
part
I
of
would have
marketing.
done marketing. It would have been less soul crushing.
But I think
Well-
that's part of marketing is making those phone calls. But you have to. It's a constant push to keep your name top of mind game is
Yeah.
what I call it. So how do you guys do that?
Well, we like to do. I think where we shine is face to face, or at least that's fun for me, right? Fun. So we love to do open houses. We try to do at least 2 every weekend. So we're just like constantly working every single weekend.
Visiting,
We try to,
visiting them
No,
or hosting?
hosting open
Okay,
houses.
good.
Hosting open houses. We like to do video content. We're on YouTube as well. So we just got our second client from YouTube. So we're super excited about that. Like, it's starting
That's
to pay
huge,
off.
yeah.
It's starting to pay off. They just call you just because of YouTube.
They see you on YouTube and they like your energy. They like what you have to offer and the information, and you build that trust. In the end of the day, finish what you were saying.
Oh, and I was going to say, like, sphere of influence, or the people that you do know, but also getting to know the people they know because they're trusting you with their family or their friends, relatives. So I think those are our big 3 main but we're also starting to gear more of our business. Like, we used to do cold calling. I can do cold calling like nobody's with no problem. But really, it's just we like that face to face. So we literally had a business meeting in the beginning of the year, like we do all the time, and we just shifted to like, hey, what's our top 3 things? Like open houses, sphere of influence, but also networking. So we're heavily focusing on networking, which is why we became a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and that's how we met Heather.
So what else are you doing for networking? Chamber of Commerce. What else? Are you guys in a referral lunch group and all that yet, or no? I know those are harder to find.
We started
for
our own
realtors.
thing. We started like earlier this year. We of course last year was very tough. So we like when it gets tough, we work even extra hard and we try and do more stuff. Like you said, there's more opportunity. So you don't want to be the one that falls off the wagon. You want to be the one that's holding the hardest. You know. So we started feeling the burnout earlier this year, and we decided like to come up with ideas because we're working all the time, but we're starting to realize that we're not doing as much fun things for ourselves. So we were like, we miss going hiking because we used to go hiking a lot. We miss going out, having a drink. How can we incorporate that and still be productive? So we started 2 events actually.
And well, not annual, monthly
Monthly.
events.
We do Trails and Tales once a month.
What's
Trails,
the tail
Trails
thing?
and Tales with
Is
the
it for dogs?
Zachary's.
No.
Or do you wear a tail while you go on the trail?
No, it's
No,
just
What's it do?
TALES.
Stories.
He's fine.
So basically, by working with a lot of clients, especially ones that are coming out of San Antonio, you'd be surprised, even ones that have been in San Antonio for a while. San Antonio is a big city with a small town feel. So it's very easy to get stuck in one area in San Antonio and think, okay, that's San Antonio, and then not really get to experience San Antonio. So we usually recommend restaurants, things to do, like we are all over San Antonio. So we know a lot about it. And they really enjoy that. So one of the reasons why we did the trails, there's how many trails in San Antonio? Like
There's, I think, over 900 miles of trails.
Wow.
I think I'm like pretty sure.
Yeah, and you definitely,
Don't quote me.
now is the time of year, October.
Yeah.
Now
Yes,
the weather's
the
cooled down. We
weather
can actually go on the
Exactly.
trails.
So we pick a different trail every single month just to kind of show people around San Antonio, hey, come get to know the east side, come get to know the west side, come get to know downtown. And we just walk for an hour with them, pick a breakfast spot, and go out to eat. We try not to make it like too real estate related, but it's just to talk to your clients, talk to your friends.
Is that going to make it on social media?
Yeah, we already have it on social
that's
media.
an opportunity for them to meet other people as well, because if they're new to San Antonio and they don't know anybody, well, come, we don't talk real estate. We just talk about San Antonio.
I mean, if they ask, we'll talk.
Yeah.
but we're not going to be like,
So,
don't talk to me.
Video? Are you guys going to do any video on this thing?
Yeah. We've kind of already started doing some video. We haven't edited it yet, but we're going to give it to our video editor or our marketing
We just
manager.
do video for social, like short format. Like here's a trail.
Stories, reels.
So
Whip
on
out your phone
YouTube, I
kind
know
of a thing.
I've interviewed quite a few real estate agents since I've been doing this stuff, but it's almost 2 years now. But like on YouTube, for example, where they're getting clients is when they'll do their good spots to eat in San Antonio, and you know what I mean? But they're actually on site talking about that's it's like, oh, they kind of know that. I like their vibe. Are you guys doing that? Are you going to be doing that? Or what are your thoughts there?
So on YouTube we have 4 formats. We do $1 million homes because a lot of people like to watch homes, and a lot of people don't realize that we have those in San Antonio. They think of San Antonio and they're like, oh, San Antonio is not the place to have $1 million homes. No, we have really nice homes. So we like to show those. We also like to show Airbnbs and hotels. So San Antonio is a very touristic city, and a lot of people come here for vacations and stuff, and then they get hooked, and then they want to buy a house. So that's how we get them early on. Well, let us show you the nice vacation spots and nice Airbnbs, romantic Airbnbs, and we cover those. So that's the second format. The third one is more informational, where we cover zip codes, where we cover things to do, or during Halloween, like how to celebrate Halloween in San Antonio. And the last one is more business oriented, where we actually go and feature a business, because that's we want to show the living in San Antonio. It's not just about homes. It's not just about
heart of
going
San
out and
Antonio.
having fun. It's not just about the tourism part. It's also about the businesses that you deal with and the people that run those businesses.
So yeah, just like the trails and tales, we did for morning people, but for night people, we also have the mix and sip, where we pick a different bar in the city that we favorite, or maybe we've never visited before, and it's just again getting people together, getting to know each other, having a drink, and just enjoying each other's company. So it's just kind of that's how we're scaling our business to around our lives versus what we did the first 3 years, which was spreading ourselves
That's
too
authentic.
thin.
People
we
are
need
gonna
to bring it to us.
People are going to connect with that.
Well,
'cause
and
it's
you're
authentic.
actually going to do it, I think, is the biggest thing. Because I feel like a lot of people with the sales side of business, it's like what everybody kind of wants to forget, right? They don't want to go out and hustle for the sales. It's most of the time not fun. But if you create it in a way that you do have fun with it,
Yep.
like you enjoy your business and you're actually going to do it. And that's the thing, is consistency is key.
Exactly, consistency, and we also we know we're in the business of sales, but we don't think about it that way. We think about it, we're in the business of helping people.
Yeah.
Because all due respect to all realtors, it's not a rocket science job, and that's why it's so easy to get into the industry. It's very easy to be a realtor and have the license and help people buy a home, but it's not very easy to help somebody figure out what's the best way and when is the best time.
Or how to adapt to a city or to the new area.
Yeah, exactly. So we like to think of ourselves as we are real estate consultants, because it's not about the sale. It's about helping you reach your goals, whatever those goals are. Like, I like to use an example. We went for a listing appointment not so long ago, and we sat with the potential client. We asked them a lot of questions. And after we heard his answers, we were like, hey, you don't need to sell, and if you
should refinance.
What you need to actually help you reach your goals is you need to refinance. Here are a bunch of lenders, they can help you. And he ended up refinancing. We didn't get the sale, but we got a client.
Yeah.
And that, like, this person still calls us up until today, asking us about all sorts of things relates to real estate. He wants to start getting into investment, and he wants to work with us. He refers people to us, and that's for us worth more than any sale.
And before we wrap up, I know San Antonio is kind of a hotbed for the investing world. I hear a lot of chatter. People love the idea of investing in San Antonio. There's a lot of growth. Are you guys getting into that side as well, being investment real estate agents? Because I know some agents can get niched into residential, and that's all they do.
I mean, we're not going to specifically target investors, but if they come our way, we can definitely handle them.
I think she was asking.
Wait, if we're going to invest in it, like ourselves?
Both, yeah. Like,
well, that
side.
answers that question for that side. But for us, we definitely want to get into investing. We're already talking about it.
We have plans, and that's going to be the next step. Like, right now, we just want to focus on residential and being good realtors and building that base. And we want it to be a well-oiled machine that later on we can start putting it on the side. Because as a realtor, the first 3 years are the toughest, and that's what everybody tells us, and that's what we're realizing. But it's starting to get better. By the time you're 5 years into real estate, if you can last that long, because it is a tough game, your machine is well oiled at that point. You don't have to, and that's why a lot of people get lazy as well. But if you have processes in place and you have good CRM and you follow up with your clients and your pipeline, it becomes a process, and then you can start paying your attention to other things. So our plan is the first 5 years, just focus on being a realtor, build that base, build that machine.
Work towards like a broker's license as well.
And then break off and start building our investment side of Cityscape, because eventually the goal is we don't want to be realtors forever. We want to have our team as realtors, and that works for us. But then we want to break off and become investors, and then later on developers, so we can build that tower.
That nice building. I can
Affect
see it right
our
there.
logo
Exactly.
you're building here.
I can see it right there.
Well, I like to inspire, so I'm glad you guys inspired by my cityscape there. All right, was there anything that you guys felt like you wanted to get out there on the floor before we wrap up that we missed? I know we covered quite a lot of
Can we put our
ground.
little elevator pitch right now? I'm just kidding.
Yes,
I'm
do your
just kidding.
30
What is your elevator pitch? Because that's a part of business. It's everybody should have that
Actually,
45 second.
No,
We-
we do have one.
We do?
When people ask you, what do you do?
Oh, well, we just like it depends on how good we're feeling that day.
Okay.
But we usually like to say that we're real estate consultants. I'm not going to, you do it because I'm going to get into that whole YouTube like intro and outro thing. So you go for it. You
We
do it.
basically, very short, we say we help people buy and sell homes in San Antonio and make it easy for them. That's
Okay.
it. Straight to the point. And that's what we do.
We make people fall in love with San Antonio. That was the one that we were kind of playing around with.
Yeah, that's
Everybody should have a catchphrase. Like mine is I turn job owners into business owners.
And
that's what leverage does.
That's a good one
Because
too.
being a job owner is great until it's not great, right?
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
like, well, if I'm sick, I can't do this, and I can't go on a vacation, and I'm stuck, and it's not good. But what's yours? Do you have a catchphrase?
I don't really. I'm working on a catchphrase. It's yeah.
I feel like you could come up with a really,
need
really
it.
good one.
I'm actively working on it though. It's market researching because I'm kind of like angling in a different direction from where I was. So TBD.
Well, like when I introduce you, you work with business owners to gain clarity and achieve their goals. That's something that, and you were a business coach you had a business coach when you were in real estate, and that really, really helped you. So that's what inspired you to become a business coach. Well, it's true. She's my business coach, right? So there's a couple of points where I was stuck and I was like, I'm not quite sure what to do here. I think it's going to cost me money. And she was like, well, what about this? And it helps me, turn something that would have cost money into something that can actually make money. And I'm like, well, that's a really good idea. So that clarity is definitely something.
That's the thing. Like, one of my things is making complex or jumbled thoughts easier and clearer to understand so you can make decisions based off of them. My job is not to like suggest things and to like give you answers. It's to organize the thoughts in a way that you can understand where you're going clearly, so you know what. That's my goal. Is when
or
you
like
walk
kind
away,
of filter out some of the other ideas,
everything on the table, and then we sort it. But the goal for every conversation I have with anybody is for them to walk away with something that they know that they can do to get traction in their business, and they're excited about it. Instead of like, I know there's 1,000 things I need to do and I can't figure out which one is top priority because they're all important. And that's here a lot.
Yes.
You know, you have all those thoughts jumbling in your head because you want to accomplish big things, but the path to getting to the big things is so unclear because you're in it. And I'm reading a book called Creativity Inc. It's about, have you read it? It's great. And he's just talking about how when every Pixar movie starts and it sucks. Because the directors, the filmmakers, everybody gets so in their own heads about the idea and about the story that they can't see a path to making it great. And they just get together and they do brain trusts every few months on the story and get outside opinions and get outside, like it's basically a outside opinion and outside feedback on what they're thinking to help clarity. So that is not a quippy statement, because our pre-Zoom meeting, I was like, dang it, I need that quippy statement, but it's in the works is basically all of that, but
it'll come.
I'm fascinated, and we don't have time for it here, but it's the whole idea that a real estate agent would have a business coach seemed foreign to me. I'm like, whoa. Because most of them are bootstrapped, right? We're all broke. We're all trying to get started. It's like, what are we doing? I'm not going to spend all this money over here. But you were able to do it, and actually it accelerated your business quite a bit.
The conversation went like this. You charge what? And she was like, I don't think you can afford not to have me. And I was like, I'm going to trust it, and I'll give you like 6 months, because I literally cannot. I was dipping into savings to pay her. And she proved herself within 3. I was actively creating the income to pay for her within 3 months. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, we started really realizing that like a few months ago, to start doing some business coaching and to start branching out and we're like reworking our business and hopefully have it revamped by January and unveil some new things.
Tough thing. I know I wouldn't want to be without it. All right. As we wrap up this show, a quick reminder, check out our latest podcast or catch video versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for us. Great job, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us. I appreciate it.